Star Wars is something I've only become a fan of a few years back. I have zero nostalgia for these movies, and I only like about half of them, so this will probably be an interesting list. With the release of the franchise's first spin-off movie, Rogue One, there are now 8 theatrical live-action Star Wars movies. You were not theatrical. You were not live-action. You can die. As you can tell from the title, I am ranking the Star Wars movies from worst to best. Everything I'm about to say is in my opinion, even if it sounds like I'm stating them as fact. If you disagree, that's good, it shows we're not all robots. I'll give each film a rating out of 10. This is the chart thing that I made. Let's begin. Number 8. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. This is the first Star Wars film chronologically, and in my opinion, it's the worst. The acting is bland, lifeless, and easily the worst I've ever seen in a big blockbuster. The story is laughably stupid, it's way too convoluted for its own good. If this was a review, I'd be trying to prove my case with examples, but I'm just ranking them. And The Phantom Menace is horrible. I'd give this a 2 out of 10 just cause the music is good, but the presence of Jar Jar Binks for 80 minutes of screen time bumps this down to a 1 out of 10. I hate this movie. Number 7. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. George Lucas tried to bring some humor and charm into this movie, but as Yoda once said, do or do not, there is no try. So it didn't really matter. The writing in this movie is the worst. The failed, idiotic attempt at a romance is incredibly uncomfortable and robotic. It is a misery to watch. So then, why is this ranked higher than Episode 1? Well, Episode 2 has cut down Jar Jar's screen time to about 5 minutes, and also there is one scene I found myself not hating. Obi-Wan talks to Yoda while Yoda is teaching some younglings. As random as it is, it's one of the few scenes I wasn't fuming with rage while watching. 2 out of 10. Number 6. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. When I was watching this the other day for the first time in a while, I noticed I was actually having fun with some of the scenes. There are parts here and there that I found really entertaining, but it still suffers from the horrible romance between Padme and Anakin. Also, Anakin is stupid. Just always. While I do have many problems with the film, it actually went by pretty fast, compared to the boring, suicide-inducing slog The Phantom Menace was. I do not consider this the good prequel, as some call it, but it is the best prequel. At its best, it's okay. At its worst, mediocre. Easily a 5 out of 10 from me. Number 5. Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Like I said, no nostalgia here. The opening 40 minutes to this film is a bit weak. Character upon character goes to Jabba's palace, one at a time. I really dislike the whole Jabba's palace sequence, especially the song that was added in a special edition. I know it wasn't in the original, but it's in the movie now. The middle of the film is entertaining. What really saves this movie is the amazing final confrontation between Vader, Luke, and the Emperor, and the aerial battle. They're some of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars. Also, the characters are as great as ever. I'm giving this a 6.5 out of 10. Number 4. Rogue One. So this movie just came out, but I'm pretty sure this is where I'd rank it. It had some of the best action sequences in all of Star Wars, and I really liked the unique and different feel. The story was fun and it was nearly non-stop excitement. Some problems I had with the film was some characters were just there, without much of a reason or motivation. Also, the first act felt a little jumbled, hopping from planet to planet without much explanation, and I was kinda lost. But as the film went on, it all came together for an absolutely awesome final 40 minutes. 7.5 out of 10. Number 3. Episode 7, The Force Awakens. This was originally the movie that sold me on Star Wars. It was fun, exciting, and fresh. The acting was great, the characters were interesting, and I loved every minute of it. Of course, I know that there are very similar plot points to other Star Wars films, and I know that isn't very original, but it doesn't hinder my enjoyment of the movie at all. So I love The Force Awakens, even though I'm sure it wasn't technically and story-wise that difficult to make. 8 out of 10. Number 2. Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. This is such a great movie. It expanded and explored the worlds and characters of the first film while introducing new iconic characters and planets. Empire begins great, and everything on Hoth is amazing in my opinion. The middle portion is also great. We get to meet one of the best characters in all of Star Wars, Yoda. And finally, it ends great, on Cloud City with Vader and Luke's duel and everything that goes with that. So yeah, the whole movie is pretty stinking awesome. 9 out of 10. Number 1, if you haven't guessed it, I don't know why. Episode 4, A New Hope. The first Star Wars film ever changed the way we see sci-fi movies and blockbusters forever. And also, film in general. It's one of the most iconic movies of all time. The technical aspects were also game-changing at the time. It's a great feat that something made almost 40 years ago still holds up today, except the special editions. Those already seem dated now. Besides all that, it's also just a really good movie. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10 also, because while I think Empire is an overall better film, this one is the Star Wars movie I love and want to watch the most. So that's my ranking of every live-action theatrical Star Wars movie to date. I want to hear what you think. Give all your rankings below in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this quick video. May the Force be with you. Except the Force is fictional, it doesn't exist, and why do people even say that? It's not real.